Hey guys, so before you guys watch this video and the video starts, I just want to make a couple things clear. So first of all, don't judge with the videos. I'm still new to this. I get very anxious filming in front of people, so the editing process for me is very difficult because I say a lot, which is very annoying, especially when editing because it's constantly happening, and yeah, trying to go through it and edit all the ums out is a bit of a bum. Next thing is I'm still starting out and I'm just getting into it, so I'm not good with my camera angles. As you will see in the video that's coming up, like the angles are bad. You see my head in majority of some of the angles, and the camera starts fogging and a lot of other things. So I'm still working on angles. I'm still trying to figure out the camera, and I might be getting a new one, I don't know yet, so just ignore that. I apologize. Another thing too as well is I get very anxious, so I have a big habit of talking myself out of uploading video. So I don't know if you can see behind me, but I'm actually in the process of editing the video. In some videos I get inside my head and think that no, this video is stupid, or I don't know what I'm saying, or people aren't gonna like it, and I convince myself out of posting it. So this is something that I'm just gonna go screw it, I'll post it anyways, and yeah, kind of not care. So just making you aware, basically. So yeah. The other thing too as well is, as I just mentioned before, editing for me takes a while, and so I can't pump out videos like a professional YouTuber. Like, I'll make a video every now and then because I'm going as fast as I can. I've got a lot of things that I do in my daily life. I can't just focus on filming and editing, so it does take me a while, especially with my anxiety constantly saying that is the biggest part of editing, as well as music choice and yeah, a lot of things. And lastly, which is probably the biggest thing I want to point out in this video, is I actually mentioned it in the video, is I'm no mechanic. This is a car video, but I don't know everything about cars. I know a little bit just from what I've learned from my dad and my brother, but I don't know everything. So I may use the wrong terminology, I might say things wrong. If I do, I apologize. But yeah, in my head, I know what I'm saying, basically. Other than that, please leave some constructive criticism. I do want to get better at this. If you've got any pointers or anything, please help me out, help a brother out. I'd much appreciate it. But anyways, enjoy the video. Hey guys, it's me again, I'm back. So this video is going to be quite different to what I would normally film because it has been very wet for the past few days. I've got 2 other videos that I'm literally in the middle of filming. You'll see when they come out, but I really want to start filming and I want to get back into it. As I do every video, I say that, but I just keep forgetting. But I reckon this is a record. I'm literally filming 3 videos at the moment. But yeah, so anyways, this one's going to be very different. This one's actually going to be a car video. For those of you who know me, you guys know that I love my cars, especially drifting, but this has got nothing to do with drifting. I've been doing a lot of research. Now, in my car, I have a sports wheel, but that sports wheel is a suede wheel. So my steering wheel here, it gets compressed down and gets very hard and doesn't look very neat. And I have done a shit ton of research and I cannot seem to find any video whatsoever that helps you clean the video. Now, ages ago I bought a pair of shoes, and you might be wondering what the hell does a pair of shoes have to do with a suede steering wheel. But when I bought those shoes, I bought a limited edition cleaning pack thing, and it came with this Crep Protect cure thing. Now, this says that it cleans leather, suede, nubuck, canvas, nylon, vinyl, and many more. And it comes with a brush. Now, this brush is pretty good, and I'm actually kind of curious to see if this Crep Cure, which is like I think this is a $20 bottle that you can get, and just a standard brush, I'm curious to see how it comes out. Yeah, it should be interesting, but at the same time, it's going to be an even more instructional video because I'm going to show you how to pull apart a boss kit to a steering wheel, how it all works, and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, very different video, but I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's useful for those who are car people, and yeah. Okay, so hopefully this is an alright angle. You won't be able to see my face much, but you'll still be able to hear me talking and stuff. So yeah, this is my aftermarket sports steering wheel, whatever you want to call it, and that's suede. If you can see in the video, I'm not quite sure how it'll turn out, but yeah, it just doesn't look the greatest. So I'm gonna take off the steering wheel, take off the boss kit, clean everything up, and then put it all back together, and you guys can see me how I do it. So the first thing that you want to do is take off all 6 of these Allen key nuts, which in my case these are 4mm bolts, and for a scooter rider, the standard one that we would use is normally like a 5mm or maybe a 6mm, but these ones are just a 4mm. So you're going to take off these 6, which will then take the steering wheel off. So for those of you who ride scooters, you know that when you take off your clamp, you never want to take like your top bolt of your clamp out all the way and then do the one. You want to do it bit by bit. This is a very similar thing. You don't want to take one all the way out without loosening the other one. So you want to do like a rotation. So you want to loosen that one and then go in a circular motion until it's hand removable or hand twistable, whatever you want to call it. Once they're all fairly hand twistable, then you can just take them all out one by one. I don't know if there's a certain pattern or way that you have to do it. I just do it in a circular motion. I start from the top and just go around. Bolt 1. Bolt 2. Bolt 3. Bolt 4. Bolt 5. And finally, bolt number 6. So once you get all 6 of the bolts off, your steering wheel just pops out. So now what you want to do is get some pliers, and on the back of your horn, normally there's only 2 things, so you just pull them off. And your horn's disconnected. So, steering wheel is now off, which is very simple, but you still need your steering wheel to get the boss kit off, so make sure you keep this handy. So now, I don't know if you can see it from that angle, but on the inside there is a nut that screws to I think it's to the steering column on the inside. So basically all you want to do is get a pry bar, because it's going to be nice and tight. Yeah, so you want to get 17 socket, pry bar, and then you want to make sure your steering wheel is locked when you do this, and then yeah, just put it in and crank it. Oh, that's tightening it. Make sure you go the right way. So you loosen it, or you can take it all off, but I like to keep it, say, like a couple screws on. so that way when you yank the steering wheel, it doesn't come flying off into your face, pretty much. So now what you want to do is, are they all the same? Oh yeah, they're all the same. Now you want to brace your steering wheel back up to the boss kit. So when I brace it, I always brace the top one and the bottom one in the middle, because that's your most structural point. There's like 1,000 videos on YouTube on boss kits and aftermarket steering wheels, but surprisingly there's no, from what I could find, I probably just am terrible at research, there was no videos on how to clean a suede steering wheel. There was videos on how to clean a different sort of steering wheel which is similar to suede but not quite, and it has a different method. And when I did research on that type of steering wheel, they were saying that the reason you can clean those ones normally is because of the type of material. It's not just a suede, it's kind of like a stronger suede. So yeah, so you don't want to tighten these up too much, obviously. You just want to tighten it up so it's supported against the boss kit. Yeah, so once you tighten it so it's fairly tight and you've got your inside nut loose, now all you got to do is wiggle and shake, and then you'll feel it pop like that, and now you just push it back a little bit and you can take off your nut, and then pop, and now the entire thing comes off with the boss kit. Make sure when you're doing buying an aftermarket steering wheel that comes with a boss kit, do your research on the boss kit. Not every boss kit is going to fit the same. You have to get one that matches your sprocket size for your steering column. It's not always going to be the same. So now all I'm going to do is just take these 2 bolts off of the steering wheel to the boss kit, so that I can then take my steering wheel and clean it. Now, mind you, I have never done this before with the cleaning of the steering wheel, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. I'm kind of nervous because I don't want to break my steering wheel, but if you don't try, you don't learn. So, boss kit, steering wheel. The reason I was taking my boss kit off is because my steering wheel wasn't actually aligned. So as I was driving, my steering wheel was kind of like this, which is not fun. Now, what I've done is, you probably can't see it on the camera, but I've made a small mark on my column bit to mark where the center is. And then I've also made some small marks on here to show that this is what it was when it was center, and that was lock, and yeah, just make marks so you know what you're doing. Okay, so now what you want to do is, usually you would do this with your steering wheel back on, but because I'm taking my wheel to clean it, I'm gonna do it with that. And then we're gonna tighten that on. So that's just hand tight at the moment. Now all that's left is to tighten it down properly. It sometimes helps to actually lock the steering wheel, so when it locks, that'll help so that it'll catch it and you can put a fair bit of tightening strength. So you don't want to overly tighten it. I do believe that that is now straight, and I now need to clean my steering wheel. So we're going to take my steering wheel, take the brush and hopefully the shoe cleaner that won't destroy my steering wheel. Okay, so I just had to grab a few extra bits and bobs and tools and stuff. So, reading the bottle, it states cleaning guide. Dunk brush into a bottle of warm water, which I have right next to me, and then add a generous amount of this onto your brush. And then all you really want to do is, it's meant for a shoe, so it's a larger surface, but it says to clean in a circular motion. I'll try my best to do a circular motion, but it's probably just going to go back and forth if I'm honest. And then it basically just says to use this microfiber cloth that you get with the pack to dry it off, and then let it dry, and then it should be all clean. So hopefully this doesn't ruin my steering wheel. I'm praying that it doesn't ruin my steering wheel, but yeah, let's get into it. So the first initial test looks dribbling everywhere. Looks decent. It seems to be cleaning quite well. I don't know how well it's gonna soften it up, but. So the first initial, we've just done the first half, and I'm quite impressed with how it looks really. It's obviously still wet, so I have to wait for it to dry off. But no, it looks good. Hopefully it brings back the softness. I immediately knew the yellow strip was so much cleaner. But yeah, no, I'm pretty happy with it. So I have now finished, and the final procedure is to just let it dry. So I'm going to hang it up somewhere where it can get some good sunlight, but not where it will get wet because it is still spitting a little bit. So yeah, I'll let it hang for about an hour, I reckon, and then yeah, come back and see how it looks. Okay, so finished cleaning it. Come out quite nice. I'm hoping that it regains its softness, but so I've currently got it hanging up in my room. I got the heater cranking, which I'll probably crank up to 25 or something, I don't know, just to really get this thing nice and warm. So it'll dry. I'll leave it for about an hour. I might sit down, eat some food, watch some YouTube, whatever, and then yeah, and then put it back in my car and see how it feels. Okay, So we're back. It's been quite a few hours now. The steering wheel is reasonably dry, like it still feels a bit damp, but from the first look of it, it looks a hell of a lot better. It looks nice and neat. Obviously, I understand it's not going to feel the same way it did when I first bought it out of the shop. I get that, but overall, like, I don't know how well you can see it, but it looks a lot neater, more like suede, where before it was so compressed together that it almost looked like leather. But so now I'm actually going to put everything back together. Now, when you buy steering wheels, especially with Boss kits, it's hard to know where the center is. So sometimes it will take a while to make sure it is centered. So you will have to take your wheel on and off every now and then. Sometimes I'll even drive it just with the two things on, no horn or anything, so that I can literally just unbolt it, pull it, and then readjust it. Not as I'm driving, but... Okay, so now we're putting the steering wheel back on with all the aftermarket horns. They're very simple. So when you get your Boss kit, it will come with the 2 wires, and then with your aftermarket horns, it's just got these 2 plugs, which is very simple. Usually it doesn't matter which one you put it onto. Sometimes it does. For my steering wheel, for example, it does. You have to put the black one onto the top one that's further back so that the cord is more centered. And then the red one you would put to the one that sticks out a little bit more. That way you can twist this cord and it'll kind of get it out of the way a little bit. So when you've got this little bit of metal hook here, you want to loop that around the inside so you can just push it straight through and it will slide on nice and easy. And then you just want to make sure that you line up your holes. With my wheel, it comes with this metal brace sort of thing that you want to put over top. That just puts it over top of a horn. And just make sure that all your holes are lined up and your horn is centered. And because I've got my steering wheel locked, that's why it's on an angle, but when I take it off of lock and drive it around, it should be straight. So now what I do when putting them in is I sort of put them in a certain order. So I always start with the top center one and line that one up, because sometimes the bolts can be a little bit dicky when you're trying to put it in. So you just want to do that in a little bit with your hand so that it holds. And then I go to the bottom one, screw that one in. And then once you get these 2 in, you can basically put whichever one's in. Sometimes you do need to wiggle your wheel around a little bit just to make it easier for your hands to screw in the bolts. So once I get this wheel on, I'll tighten it back up, go for a drive. I can't find my GoPro at the moment, so I probably won't record the driving bit, because obviously I'm not going to drive with my big red camera, because that'll be a bit weird. I am looking at getting a different filming camera. There's one that a lot of YouTubers use, like Adam LZ, Colette Davies, Tanner Fox, all those sort of YouTubers use a certain camera. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head. Okay, so once you kind of hand tighten them all as much as you can, now you just tighten them. Don't tighten one all the way and then the other. It's like a scooter clamp. You tighten one at a time, but there's, like I said before, in my opinion, there's no like real order. I just do it however, but I always start with the top center and then do a circular motion, I guess. So you just do it up till it's reasonably tight, not all the way, just till you can feel a bit of tension, just to start with anyways. So once you tighten all of them a little bit, and then you can go ahead and for all of them, I just tighten them up as tight as you can go. Now, one thing that I do want to make clear in the video is I'm not a mechanic. Yes, I've done some work experience in a mechanical shop. I know cars a bit, but I'm not gonna try and pretend that I'm some mechanical genius that spent years of training and stuff like that. I haven't. I've tinkered on cars for a little bit with my dad and my brother, and like my brother's a mechanic, I'm not. So I'm just telling you what I know based on my learning. But once you tighten that, if you can tighten it to the point where it moves the steering wheel, in my opinion that's the best tightening, because it's not too tight, but tight enough so you know your wheel's stable. And then I do believe that is done. So get me keys, get it out of lock, and yeah. So by the feel of it, the steering wheel's still a little bit damp, but it seems alright. Because obviously little parts like in here, you can still feel the original suede. It's nice and soft, where the rest of it is kind of brittle almost. I don't know if you could probably get some like fabric softener. That might work. And just like rub a bit of fabric softener on it. I might try that next time. I don't know how it'll damage the wheel, but for cleansiness, this is pretty good, so I'm happy with that. And yeah, I'll take it for a test drive, make sure my steering wheel's straight, and then pretty sure that's it. And then just the outro. So yeah. Hey guys, so overall, the fabric turned out alright. It looked very clean. It's still quite gritty, but like you can't expect perfection with it. The process of cleaning it was scary, if I'm honest. I've never cleaned that wheel before. That's the first time I've ever cleaned the wheel. The product that I used was a shoe product, first of all, and where I put it. So this is the box product of what it is. So it's the Ultimate Sneaker Care Pack. It's by Crep. But yeah, it worked pretty well if you're a shoe people. This works really well on your shoes. I've used it for multiple of my shoes, so definitely look at getting something like this. And well, it seems to actually work with the steering wheel as well, so it's multi-beneficial. But yeah, so other than that, it's not your typical video. Well, it's not my typical video. It's been wet, as I said, so I can't exactly do my normal skate park video, so I just thought I'd try something different. So let me know if this was helpful, if you liked it. I might do a bit more car stuff if you do like this sort of stuff. But yeah, hopefully it was helpful. That's the main thing. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video, considering I have 2 others that will be posted when it's dry. Bye. There's someone walking past. I don't like filming in front of people. Man, I need to grow some balls. Okay, so anywho, let's try to get back into it. I'm really trying to film and someone's passing me and I feel weird. Hello. Goodbyes. I'm not talking to myself. This is weird. Don't look at me! I have a camera facing me and everyone's driving past me.